Get ready, Chiefs Kingdom, to unleash your passion and excitement for all Chiefs content. With the up-and-coming sports media company giving you all of the Chiefs coverage. We are raising the decibels and embracing the community of Chiefs Kingdom. Elevate your fandom and join our team who loves your team. Red Kingdom Media. Welcome to this week edition of the Red Kingdom Media live post-game show. Unfortunately, it is not a pleasant one, but we're going to try to look at all this and dissect what the heck just happened. But this was supposed to be the gimme game before a really tough matchup, a bye week, and then the Eagles. And to blow this game in that fashion was alarming, to say the least. To have the performance that they did, mirroring the week one performance, say even worse than that one even. And this team can't put up a touchdown against a division rival in a game that we hyped up as winning the division outright with this game. So none of that happens. Chiefs are now 6-2 on the season, about to play an 8:30 Arrowhead kickoff in Germany against the hot Miami Dolphins, who have only lost one game as well.
Two.
Oh, that's right. So this may still decide number one despite those losses, but the Bengals, I don't know their current score, but they're looking well. Baltimore's still looking well. It doesn't seem like that number one seed is looking likely, and it's strange to think that it's going to be because of the offense's performance. So I'm just going to let one of you guys take the floor here, just break down your overall emotions about this game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push the panic button. We didn't look good, obviously this game, but I think they'll get it back on track. The offense didn't play to the best of their abilities, but it's always hard playing a division opponent back to back. So playing them twice in a row, being that we just seen them a week ago, before we played the Chargers, it's the NFL. People are going to make adjustments. They're pros, and I think we've seen that today from the Broncos. They played us good last time we played them. Unfortunately, they caught us this time and got us this time, but I'm not going to press the panic button whatsoever on the Chiefs. I think they'll figure it out and get this offense going for sure, because Mahomes had time to throw today. He just didn't make a lot of good decisions, and just really didn't play too good. Didn't play his best ball today. So I really put this one on him and those guys. The defense played to the best of their abilities, and there are going to be games where our offense is not always good, but we get the job done.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm more nervous than you because this isn't the first time that this offense has struggled, and this isn't the first time in Patrick Mahomes' era where he's essentially been shut out in a game and just been completely pressured to death and not got any points or just, frankly, any good offensive drives whatsoever. There was this feeling that as soon as they got into the red zone, that they were just going to get shut out. They weren't going to be able to punch it in or make a mistake, or finally the pressure would get to Mahomes and he'd get sandwiched and he wouldn't even see it coming. So
yeah, I just don't really. I'm not gonna like I said. I'm still not gonna panic. It's a division opponent. They know us very well. I feel like it's the way we've seen them too. We played them literally almost back to back. If there is not for a game in between, and we play the Chargers. So I'm not gonna say that the Chiefs just looked horrible. We seen them put up points, but against other division foes, they just played us good. They had a good scheme, had a good game plan, and they came in and executed it. Pass off to the Broncos. They also are in a situation where their backs are against the wall. So I feel like anytime you catch a team that's 2-5 and we're going into the trade deadline, you're talking about shipping off all of your good players, and you either going to be buyers or sellers. Here coming up in this game dictates that you have a lot of external factors playing factors into a game that makes people kind of want to play harder. And I feel like the Broncos had those external factors, even though the Chiefs had some reasons to play better as well. But I feel like the Broncos just outweighed the Chiefs and they played better. They got out and played the better game. Like I said, they have some jobs over there at stake. So we just have to remember everything plays a factor. There are other outlying factors other than just it being the Chiefs needing to wrap up the division and continue to win on their winning streak. Those guys are playing and being professionals too. They're playing for their jobs too. No one just wants to take another L to a team that they've been losing to 15 straight, however many straight that the Broncos have lost to the Chiefs. Eventually, the tide will change and they will get a game. So, and they just got one today. So, hats off to them.
Dale, you're just joining us since your little departure. How do you feel about this game?
I'm good. I mean, I'm not tripping. I told y'all before, bro. I come in here, laugh some things off, mad for a minute. But honestly, 16 straight. Yeah, they came out like, hey, bro, I got a chance to go ahead, build up my little stock, try to get me a little market out there as well, too. They they went up to 3-5 now. So I mean, at the same time, I figured like really after that first drive when they got that score and then they got a stop on us, I had it in my head already. It can be that. I just never doubt them. That's all. Patrick Mahomes, you can tell that he definitely wasn't at his best today. Defensively, they did what they can. They gave us back the ball. They made opportunities. He had turnovers, 5 turnovers to 1. 5 turnovers. You can't beat anybody doing that. I don't care how garbage you are. So they need to come back, be ready to go. They got to go to Germany next week. It is what it is. But the season now is not over. 6-2. Okay. We've been through this before. And let's not forget about a couple of years ago, lovely 2019. I mean, take an L a couple times. Pat went out. It is what it is. Weird stuff happened against Denver. Was able to come out of there, finish off the rest of the season, get the Super Bowl. So I'm not mad at all. But y'all need to get happy. Like, get some energy, man. Like, when we up here happy when we win, we need to be strong when we lose.
Well, okay, fine. To your point, you just said don't worry about it. Fine. Do you want to? Let's end the show right now. If this game is a complete anomaly, none of what we just watched,
we still can have a conversation.
Like, well, if none of it matters, what's the point of discussing it? We're all good.
Well, I mean, this is what our fans want. We're still gonna talk football.
As anything is good right now, dude.
Well, it's not, it may not be, and it may not be good, but I just feel like it's just it's no reason to panic. We've seen times before where we've lost games, like you said, a lot worse than this, and we've seen a lot worse scenarios.
My point is, what do we have today to talk about to celebrate? What do we have to say in this game?
Trade deadline. Go get a wide receiver. This might have been the game we needed. Go get
maybe.
It. Red Beach might be like, okay.
Tell the Broncos receivers don't even leave.
Get on our bus. On the market. Mike Evans might be on the market. You don't know. You got to put a deal out there.
Tell Sutton to get on the bus. He was roasting Snead.
Who?
Sutton.
He said,
"Yeah, stop." I was T-tack, but I mean, it is what it is. You got to go get something.
If anything, the dude draws pass interference, and the Chiefs could use that stuff right now in a game where freaking Mahomes chooses not to throw it to anybody half the time.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let them go up there and make a play sometimes, bro. Like,
well, clearly you don't trust them, and it's midway through the season. So hopefully, this did scare the front office to make a move for somebody that it might be essential to get that extra piece. Otherwise, I mean, next Sunday is going to be the ultimate test.
Yeah,
if they can keep up.
Yeah, because I'm not really that looking at this game today, and it's not. I still think we're a playoff team. I think they can still figure something out, but at the same time, it's like, okay, this is not enough. We was trying to make it enough, but we do need a weapon. We need somebody who's a go-to for sure, other than Kelsey. That way, the other guys can work around that as well too. But it just looks like no one's taking over that role. Now, Rashid had his chance. He had a big run, and then he had that throw across the middle that he dropped. That could have been your time right there to really show, like, hey, I'm the next one up. Me and Kelsey, everybody else around was hyping up Tony. But just little things like that, it's disappointing, and he's trying to find his footing as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happened on Tuesday, on Halloween.
Yeah, that's all we can say. We'll see what happened. See how they feel about the wide receivers in the room. We've won games before with those guys, and you've seen them play at a high level. Unfortunately, they just can't channel it. I feel like when they need to, and you can't have throw for negative yards at the beginning of the game like that's like not acceptable, especially against a division opponent. So they definitely have to figure some things out as far as the wide receiver goes. But in bright spots, I just feel like the defense, they played as good as they could possibly play to keep the Chiefs in the game. The Chiefs kind of played themselves out of the game, turning the ball over. So you cut down on some turnovers, I feel like you can get a win. And if, like Scott Moore makes that catch in the end zone, I feel like we're talking about a totally different ball game here. So it's we're a couple plays away. It's never. I hate getting on here having conversations like we're playing. We have the same record as the Raiders or the Broncos. Like we're not talking about a 3-5 team. So like if we're talking about a 3-5 team, then I'm pressing the panic button. And then I'm talking about, we maybe need to do this at the trade deadline. But we're talking about a 6-2 team. It's at the top of the division. More than likely, he's about to play a game for a tiebreaker for the number 1 seed. So like, we need to like pause for cause here. Really, like when it comes to the Chiefs, we're not watching a below 500 team. So like, understand what type of football we're watching on a daily basis. This is not subpar football at all whatsoever. Because if we would have had subpar football, we would have lost a lot more games than we won.
Subpar offensive play though.
Subpar offensive play for sure. For sure, but it's just as far as playing at a good NFL level on either side of the ball, I feel like on either side of the ball we've been good enough to get wins, and that's that we have to give some credit there because some teams aren't good enough to get a win at all, whether it be on defense or offense. So you have to give the credit where credit is due, and say it's a well-rounded team. It is a well-rounded team. We may lose by 9 today, but next week we may put up 30 and hold the opponent to 17. And now we're talking about something different on the podcast. We're talking about, how the Chiefs are so great. So, like, I just feel like we got to dial it back a little bit when it comes to making, like, real strong predictions as far as, like, us not being good and just pressing the panic button, not doing this. Give credit where credit is due and take your hat off when you have to take your hat off. And because they showed up last week and we weren't saying anything about that, about the offense. Now we know they still need to find a number 1, but that's on them. I feel like they'll find a number 1. They'll figure it out. Kelsey is our number 1 for now, and he's gonna have to continue to show up. That's his job. So
Taylor Swift, man, she need to come to every game for this.
It's her fault.
Well, yeah, you can put it on her. That's what people.
Swifties, I need to get on her, man. Tell her to come to Germany. Private jet. We need it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just know how to laugh through it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, in this sense, it's really all you can do. It's a game at the end of the day, and we don't get paid or anything for it, but we are fans and we love the game. And we like to win, we don't like to lose. But I just kind of try and channel my fandom when I look at the records because we could be in a lot worse situation. We've seen worse teams that were just struggling to get to 500, stay above 500. So we're in a pretty good spot. I like our chances against the Dolphins more than not. I just feel like it's a day the Chiefs didn't have their best game.
And I think what bothers me the most is that's a division game. And the thing that Andy Reid has excelled in years. And to have 3 of them in a row, to know that like that's the gauntlet that you should care about the most, and to think that we're talking about this game as a trap game and it's a division opponent, that's like sacrilege. I would have said there's no way the Chiefs overlook the Denver Broncos, and they proved me wrong.
But I say, is it the Chiefs overlooking the Broncos, or is it the Broncos playing for their football lives? That's my question to you guys right there, and that's just me as a podcaster, me as a giver.
If the Chiefs at their best show up today, do they win the game?
But no, I'm saying answer my question though
I
first.
do concur.
If is it the Chiefs not playing to the best of their ability, or is
They
it the
turned the
Broncos?
ball over 5 times. That's your
But
answer.
I'm saying, or is it the Broncos playing for their football lives?
The Chiefs turned the ball over 5 times. There's your answer.
Well, I will say, if we're talking about people
It
who
literally gifted the
observing the game,
Broncos 10 points.
well, if we're talking about a team that people are observing the game and stuff like this, and I think this was a great point from others. I mean, to be honest, it was a great defensive game. Offensively, the Broncos capitalized more. They had more opportunities, but we did make dumb mistakes, and we got to put it out there as well too. I mean, can be two things at once. We didn't play our best, but at the same time, they showed up and they took advantage of it. So we got to live with that. At the end of the day, these are NFL teams. These are people that got drafted to the NFL as well too. These are professionals. So I say this even when we win at the end of the day. Y'all beat a lesser team, still an NFL team. This is a schedule that was put in front of us. This is our division rivals. They had no choice to come out today and ball out. I don't even care. 16 straight, but that's not an excuse. We should have won. I definitely wanted 17 straight. I definitely wanted more wins than Andy Reid win column. But at the same time, I got to come back and reevaluate myself. Instead of coming on here emotional, I'm not going to do all that. We really got something for y'all when we start arguing about it. But at the same time, it is what it is. We got to take it for what it is. We played them within 2 weeks. One game, Chargers, them the next game. So they had a lot of time to study, go back into that film, because we got to remember in the last game as well, too. It's not like the offense did great in that one as well. We put up 19 points, and defense only gave up a touchdown on 2-point conversion.
Which means their defense played a very, very good game. So, like, the game plan works. So, in NFL, if you're going to come in and when you do that to an opponent, you have to know that your opponent is coming in and double down on the same game plan. That's no excuse for the Chiefs, but it's just like maybe we have to give some credit to the Broncos too. You have to take your hat off where you have to. Like, they play good against. They get up for certain opponents, and that's just how the NFL has been, and that's how it's going to be for the Chiefs moving forward. Your opponent is going to get up to beat you. You're the reigning Super Bowl champion, especially when you won 16 straight against somebody. And I feel like the Chiefs just got caught today. Unfortunately, they pull out a lot of wins in these situations, but they just got caught in a bad situation.
My feeling is, if we can have any of this conversation, they're no longer the Super Bowl favorites.
Because they got caught by bad Broncos today?
And because of their past offensive performances.
But if they come back and beat the Dolphins in Germany by a touchdown, are they Super Bowl contenders then?
Depends how they look against the Bills and Bengals, and we
also we're moving the goalposts now. We're moving to the next one.
But that's what I'm saying. We can't keep doing that just because they lost to the Broncos, who, like he said, lost 16 straight against the Chiefs.
Yeah, Dale, like you said, only the end of the season and the playoffs matter. So after the Miami game is literally exactly halfway. So we've seen how the first half of the offenses looked, and unfortunately, it hasn't had the output that anybody was expecting. So unless it has a radical shift in the second half of the season, it is not looking like the expectations will be met. And just
that's what you feel. Hey, like I'm not that one that talk down on people's opinions. Not gonna do it, because if that's how you see the game, that's how you see it.
I have to make a video tomorrow breaking down this performance. You think I'm gonna have fun? Do you think any part of that brings me joy, that I have to rewatch this game and re-experience why the Chiefs didn't show up to Denver?
Like, hey, they didn't show up to Denver. Let's show up to Germany next week, though.
Yeah,
like look what this says at the bottom. Looking ahead to Germany. Now, if you go out there and ball out, I'm telling you, everybody gonna be singing a different tune. Gonna get a dub. Bye week like after Eagles Monday night. Ooh, don't we win that one? Chiefs back at it again. So I mean, at the same time, I understand. We gotta take it for what it is when we're talking on the podcast right now. And
digest it as a loss. Yeah.
Horrible loss.
Yeah, you gotta digest it as a loss. Take it as a loss, and we take it on the chin.
Do what we do with it.
Yeah, for sure. So I just I don't know. We'll see. We just have to see moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
fine. Let's play the optimistic approach, guys. So clearly, Mahomes had zero faith in any of his targets today, and not even Kelsey was dominant in previous games. So clearly, is an offensive weapon needed on this team to make a Super Bowl run?
Not if the defense is playing like they've been playing. I don't think so. Your offense just has to be good enough, and unfortunately, I think we might be in that stage where our offense is just good enough. I know people don't like to see it, like I said, because they used to scoring 1,000 points a game. Um, we may just have to win football games a different way, and we may end up really relying on that moving forward. If we don't get a wide receiver, so just I don't. People are not used to it in Kansas City, so it's like it's hurting a lot of people's feelings, but it is what it is. Games might look like this moving forward. Might we win in 17-16. So just that's the game.
and honestly, I think that's where people might disagree with me because I honestly don't care to have another offensive weapon. I love when we have a defense that's playing like this because I feel like we didn't have a defense like this. We had a defense like that when we didn't have a quarterback that can at least make something happen in certain moments. We saw Todd Brady do it with less as well too, and he had games like this where he didn't put up that many points. But when it came down to going into the playoffs, it was a different type of mentality. I think we really possess that type of mentality as well too. We just got caught in this one. So honestly, I don't think an offensive weapon is needed. I think it's a luxury if we do go out and get an offensive weapon. But at the same time, it's not as many offensive weapons that's available right now because if I was going out for a guy in the beginning of the offseason, I was talking about Brandon Ayuk. Now the 49ers are winning. Like, even though they lost to the Bengals today, but they're going to be like 5-3. So at the same time, they're still in playoff contention. So they're not going to give up somebody who adds to that offense. So we can erase him. Mike Evans. The Bucks are still in playoff contention as well too. They're in the NFC South. Not a lot of things happening. You have a quarterback that can at least get some wins, probably put you in a position to go out and go to the playoffs. They're going to want Mike Evans. Now we get over to the Titans. DeAndre Hopkins, Will Levis, if that's how you say it, Levis. He threw 3 touchdowns today to DeAndre Hopkins. They might say, if we're going to go with him going forward, we're going to want his favorite weapon.
That makes sense.
They're going to keep their guy. So we better have faith in these weapons that we got in Kansas City right now. Because we had these type of games with Tyreek Hill when he was here too.
So maybe the point isn't even is it needed. The point is there anybody actually willing to give the Chiefs an offensive weapon who can make a difference at this point? Because why would they feel the need to make the Chiefs offense look better if all 32 teams are trying to win a Super Bowl? And even now, most 32 teams think they can win the Super Bowl. Carolina got their first win of the season, and as you mentioned, the now 3-5 Broncos upset the defending Super Bowl champions for the first time in 8 actual years. So I guess anything can happen in the league, a la the Ravens deciding to give Orlando Brown to the Chiefs when they needed a left tackle. So I guess it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that a weapon could be available. And if Brett Veach likes the price and the player, and Andy and Pat both like the player as well, maybe we do see the trigger pulled on somebody. But unfortunately, I don't think any of the game-changing receivers that we would want would even be available. So it's forcing this offense to step up. And I mean, they're about to hit midway the season, and they're about to hit one of their toughest offensive opponents yet, that you definitely have this feeling that you're going to need to put points up on the board, especially after a game that you don't score in the end zone once. So I really hope they come out with some fire.
And I think they will. I think that stands out to any team that's won the Super Bowl or puts up 31 points religiously, where their quarterback throws for 400 yards on a regular basis. It has not done that. So that's just me thinking in general for the team. A team that does not put up points is going to be energized and motivated to put up points against a team that you're going to need more than 21 to score against. So I think they'll be motivated. Let's see what they turn that motivation into and if they come out looking good.
We're getting trolled. They're playing Taylor Swift. In the locker room. We are every team Super Bowl, bro. I swear to God. It is funny. Yeah. It's hilarious, bro. Like, man.
I guess you can't give your Super Bowl effort every single game of an NFL season, but I guess as a fan's perspective, that's what you feel like it takes to win the Super Bowl, is to be that team every single game. Game in and game out.
Yeah, but I also think it motivates those other teams as well, too, who's looking for that type of confidence. I mean, let's be honest, as Chiefs fans, we were doing it years ago as well. We was like, man, we beat both the Eagles and the Patriots. We could have been in the Super Bowl one. What happened? We manifested it, end up winning 2 of them. So I think, at the end of the day, when you play a team at that level all the time and you able to catch them in that moment, you got to actually hone in on that and take advantage. And that's what the Broncos did. I mean, and I think this is what Sean Payton needed for it, probably his team as well, too. Even though I don't think this is going to be consistent with us going forward. Like, this is 16 straight, like we said already. So, but still, I think we'll be fine. Defensively, I'm just glad to see that we can make some stops, and having the type of quarterback that we have, that's going to actually come a long way when we go into the postseason. He's going to have to do probably a lot of Mahomes magic this time, but hey, it is what it is. But the linebacking core definitely looks like it's getting thin. We missed Willie towards the end of the game, and then also Drew Drake, who got hurt towards the end of the game. And it hurts, it sucks, but I think they will be back next week. I think it was one of those moments Reed was just like, hey, we're just not in it today. Like, and it was towards the later half of it going into the fourth quarter when we start getting those injuries. So I think he was like, hey, y'all did y'all job today. If we lose, it's really on the offense today. Y'all gave them opportunities. 14-9.
Right.
Muff punt. All we had to do was go down score. You said it in our text message, Clinton. We kick 2 field goals. It's a win.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, the defense get their stops and build off of that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I seen that we has a couple injuries there at linebacker, but I'm pretty sure that they'll be back. I don't have any. I'm not too worried about that. The defense still played kind of good, even though that they were down a couple linebackers there.
Well, I mean, they're down 1 this whole point until Willie comes, or until Nick Bolton comes back. So they only have 4 linebackers on the team total. And if Willie's out for extended, then there's only 3. And at some point, we saw the backup 4th and 5th linebackers on the field. So in a point where the defense didn't look like they were playing their best already. So to be down to their 4th and 5th string linebacker at some point in the game is kind of a death sentence when you think about it, especially when you come playoff time, getting Daniel Sorensen type flashbacks. So it's strange because there's only 51 players on the roster right now. So there's 2 spots available, especially with Justin Ross and his extension.
Yep.
So I'm not sure why that space, unless you think a trade is coming over the course of this weekend and towards Halloween. We'll see what it's for. But as soon as I saw Willie Gay was questionable, I thought immediately, I wonder if they can't get an offensive weapon to add to their team. You already mentioned you like how great this defense has already looked. If you make them even better, get them another depth piece. I mean, maybe that's what it would take. Maybe it's biding the time for the offense to figure out what they need to do and let Mahomes get fired up and play the way he normally plays versus he either be playing with some jitters or his receivers having drop issues. So if we can just see a complete game, but I've said that statement a couple times and haven't really gotten that. So you hope this, since this week wasn't the one that happened, the 45-10 did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you hope that all those points are getting pushed towards next Sunday, because if they come out flat in that game,
I mean,
it's going to send shockwaves. Like the whole media is going to say, "Is the NFL is the Chiefs' offense damaged goods right now?" So to Lonnie's point, if the Chiefs do come out and put up points and beat the Dolphins, the media will say, it's okay, it was just a fluke. But it can easily just flip the other way as well. If they don't get enough to keep up with Miami, the pundits might be saying, oh, geez, they're still struggling. They get a week to sit down and figure things out. But do they have what they need to figure things out? Do they have all the pieces they need to put together a Super Bowl run?
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting a guy like Montez Sweat or who is it, Chase Young from the Commanders to add to the defense, just because, you know, we've been talking about that the whole time with the pass rush. I was raving about Frank Clark bringing him back, right? And we brought back Mike Pennell and stuff like that and just adding that to the defense. So I think that definitely would be a plus. Definitely would be something that would definitely help that pass rush a lot more. That's been actually pretty good. So it's just going to make them even more dominant. But at the end of the day, I think with the National Football League, how the league has shifted, and what they expect from the Kansas City Chiefs, they're looking at anybody offensively that they can probably grab and bring over to the team to, you know, give us that extra or needed weapon per se. I do see in the comments people talking about, you know, he don't even have chemistry with the guys that he had in the within the offense in minicamp. These is also the same guys that y'all said that y'all don't think are real number ones or going to be that effective as well too. So why not trade for a guy who can come in, who is considered number one receiver and who played with pretty much the garbage of the garbage and had 1,000+ seasons each time, if we needed that much. So I'm a Chiefs fan. Whatever they do, I'm gonna find a way to bring a positive about it. But hey, it is what it is. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I take everything for what it is. A loss is a loss. I'm gonna make a positive out of it. Y'all needed to get hit in y'all mouth a little bit. Remember who y'all, what y'all are. Be like, man, this is not us. I hope y'all back on that plane thinking about we can't do this next week, because if we even come out flat and that the Dolphins defense get a stop, who's bringing back Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, this is potential tiebreaker. So
yeah,
I feel like the Chiefs are going
let's
to know.
win those games. You know,
like they're going to know. If I know and I understand it's a potential tiebreaker game for that number one seed, I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to know on their plane on their way back that this is a tiebreaker game that they need to win at all costs. I don't put this past those guys. These are guys that understand football, understand seeding, understand all of that. So I know they understand and know what this means to them, especially now since they put themselves behind the 8 ball being 6-2, just like the Miami Dolphins, and not going in 7-1. So I think we'll see the Chiefs know and show up to the plate, because they're going to have to. This game is going to go a long way. You can't see it. If you can't see it now, then maybe we need to ask a vet, but you'll see it down the road. This is potential tiebreaker game. You got to win it.
They're definitely going to be practicing Monday and Tuesday, because they're going to be leaving early this week to get to Germany on time to play on Sunday. So not a feeling you want to have to lose on the road, come back and have to practice on Monday because you didn't win, and know it's a home game where you have to travel so many time zones, try to get acclimated to it, and most teams aren't even doing it early. They're going literally as close to game time as they can. So they need to get over it. They need to get over this loss and try to put it together, because if they don't, next week is what's going to cause a lot of concern, because they have a lot harder stretch. The beginning of this season was tough. We had a, quote, easier stretch towards this middle, and it's going to ramp up with some harder teams towards the end of the season. A lot of AFC teams, a lot of AFC divisional opponents. So these are the games you can't afford to drop. So this is their first AFC loss, which unfortunately hurts a lot more than an NFC. So that hurts. Every loss in the AFC brings you a step away from that singular 1 seed in first round bye in the playoffs. And clearly I don't want the streak of Arrowhead hosting that game to come to an end. But if the defense can't do enough to maintain the score or make a stop when it counts, and the offense has some of their struggles continue, then we might be having some difficult conversations about where this team stands and where those expectations at the beginning of the season ended up.
I'm sure they looking at film prior to, the Miami Dolphins game as well too. I'm sure they looking at the games that they lost, see how they were able to bracket Tyreek Hill, minimize his play, because that's all you can really do. But I think with us, I honestly think the advantage that the Kansas City Chiefs might have, to be honest, is knowing what we were able to do with him. And honestly, I don't think McDaniels is doing anything less than what we did, but just ramping up a lot more and having the production ramped up a lot more as well. It just going to be, I think it's just going to be the game to where you let everybody else beat you. We're going to see how real your other guys are, because we do got confidence in our defense, and we do think we're going to hit Tua a lot. We're going to bust him up a lot. I think they didn't do it as much as they wanted to. The Russell Wilson day only had 2 sacks. I think they're going to come back like, hey, we're coming. We're not going to let y'all get a lot of time. You can try to get off as quick as you can. That's going to be your best option. It better be within 1 second, because we sent it. And I'm all for it. But my only question for y'all is just overall, does this loss upset y'all just because it's before a big game like the Miami Dolphins?
Well, we keep talking about the Miami Dolphins. Think about it. This is a team that beat the Broncos by 10. They scored 10 touchdowns against the Broncos, and the Chiefs in this matchup couldn't score 1. And now they get to go play the team that was able to put up 10 touchdowns against the team they just lost to and couldn't put up a touchdown of their own.
I mean, but after they blew them out in that game, they got blew out in the next game. I mean, I understand it's a bill still, but it still happens. I mean, at the same time, the divisional games is going to be tough, period. So yeah, you went out your way and did that, and then they reaped they got the repercussions of doing that, because we know we could have went up 50 plus on the Bears. That's just not our type of style. We're going to go conservative. We know that we can dominate you, and they got greedy. And sometimes bad things happen to teams like that. No offense to them though, because they put up 70 on the NFL team.
And I would say this too. That was interdivision game. So like that was an out of division game, and then that was a division game like we just seen the Broncos, which are a division opponent. Those division games are harder games if you just pay attention to football in general. Nobody usually blows their division opponent out unless your division opponent sucks. Absolutely, it's just horrible. And even if that is the case, if someone sees you twice a year, it's the NFL. They're gonna get a good beat on what you do and what you like to do. They have certain stuff in camp where they practice for that. So I just feel like certain games are just you get up for and you understand, and some of them you don't. But I feel like whatever they do, they will have to minimize Tyreek Hill. Try and minimize him. He's gonna probably get 1. He's gonna get you. Just try and minimize it. Try and minimize as much as they can of the offense. I mean, like you said, hit Tua. If they can hit Tua and minimize that offense, I feel like we'll be fine.
Once you ran him up, he's done.
But I feel like you let Tyreek start bombing on you and Jalen Waddle start bombing on you. You can even sustain, I feel like, a couple bombs, but you need to keep them out the end zone. figure out ways to not let them score, get field goals in the red zone, and you have to score. Period, point blank. There's no two ways about it. This is the game where you have to put points on the board. If you don't put points on the board, you're gonna lose. So, period, point blank. And I feel like the Chiefs know that. So that's it. There's no other two things. You get stops, you try and get field goals, and you put points on the board. Period. If you don't do that, you lose again. And we're 6-3. So
and the Dolphins really don't have the greatest defense as well too. Like
they
they can give up a lot of points. They're more of like a flashy, like they like to get turnovers, but they can also give up a lot of points as well too. So we gotta play into that more.
And
like,
I'm not
let's go downfield. Let's take advantage of what they're giving us. Let's drive it down on them. Keep them off the field. Have them just not feeling themselves and gather a rhythm offensively. Just slow down. Just slow it down. Just slow it down. You don't have that anymore. They took that away from us. We don't got that right now.
And I'm not worried about Travis whatsoever with Jalen Ramsey or any of that, because I think Travis gave Jalen Ramsey the business last year, which is really why I think he's out of Los Angeles. So I'm not really worried about Jalen Ramsey. I'm not too worried about that. But the Chiefs do have to have some different guys step up. But if their game plan is to match up Travis and Jalen, then good luck to Miami.
Well, it's funny because this is supposed to be a reaction to the Broncos game, and all of the conversation keeps going to the Dolphins because we don't want to talk about the Broncos game because there's nothing enjoyable to talk about it. Unless you guys have any positive outlook, any positive points that you want to say from this game that actually can translate into next week. Otherwise, we can just erase this film just like the Chiefs will and move on to the next game and pretend it's not all the same.
No, we can't pretend. It is only the positive I can bring out of it. I know a lot of people would be like, they did us in offensively. Not really. I mean, just 3 touchdowns. It's what we saw, honestly, in the first game of the season. Offense scored more points and kept it closer, but they really got the stops that were needed. Mm-hmm. You do that next week and the offense capitalize, I'm good. I'm okay. You keep the Dolphins under 30 points, I'm good. Offense, it's your turn to show up. They did it for 8 games this season so far. You only had about 2 games that you did something offensively. It's time for y'all to ramp it up the second half of the season. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Defense had the best grade first half. It's time for y'all to get a better grade the second half. And the positive is the defense. I know a lot of people don't like talking about it, but that's the positive.
Yeah, the only positive takeaway from
the worst game. And really, they didn't do, the wide receivers wasn't really doing that much. It was Javonte Williams on the ground.
I mean, 2 of their scores came from the special teams allowing the field position to occur. So, again, the defense were stuck in a compromising situation, and you can't expect them to hold in that type of emotional.
And had a blocked field goal on 1.
Yes, that's right. The Chiefs had a blocked field goal this game and still couldn't manage to put up a touchdown.
They went down the field. Was it that the first drive?
Yeah, we got managed no points. The defense managed no
points. We thought they was about to. We said they got to get a quick stop. They end up penalty, getting downfield, get a stop, and then we get a block field goal, bruh. Offense, that was y'all time to capitalize. Come on, that was a momentum shifter right there.
Yep.
And I say this. I don't. That is the one bright spot, and I feel like another bright spot is our quarterback has not played a lot of good games, and this is a guy that we expect the world of. I'm looking for him to come after this Miami game and out of the bye to come out with his hair on fire. Mahomes has played like crap this first half of the season, probably one of his worst first halves of the season ever. I'm looking for that quarterback to put the onus on himself and come out that second half of the season playing with his hair absolutely on fire. Just because he has not played to the level of his defense. He has not even tried to match that level and play with that same intensity, and just as far as figuring things out and getting the ball where he needs to get it. He has to step it up. This is a call for action for Mahomes, and I feel like he will. He'll figure it out, and has the moxie and has the knowledge to be able to do so.
I don't disagree with you there. The dude's got fire, and when he's on, he's on. But today we saw those tweets come out that he's not feeling well, and we have that to be the reason why things didn't work out. I know Broncos fans can say we're using that as an excuse, but every other time he's played in Denver, he's made some miraculous plays against them, and it just wasn't his day. A game you would have hoped they won going into a much tougher stretch of the schedule, but he got caught by a division foe in a trap game. So you're just going to digest what this game was. You give thanks to the defense for trying to do what they did. Shout out Justin Reed for getting a blocked field goal. I like I said in our text, I don't remember the last time I've seen the Chiefs block a field goal. It does not seem like a thing that occurs under this Dave Togue special teams.
Tano Passingo though. Tano Passingo and Charvez Ward returned it.
Hold on. I'm gonna go further. The Bernard Pollard days when it was consistent.
I'm talking. Tano Passingo used to do it a lot, and he had a signature one against Charvez Ward. Charvez Ward ran it back for a touchdown. Yep. So that's the last one I remember, but. Yeah, that was a good play. That's like I said, the defense stepped up. Mahomes has to channel it and understand what's going on here, and I feel like he will. They have not, like you said, they have not been successful. They have not done good whatsoever so far. So put it on your offense, put the onus on them. That is a part of the team that is supposed to carry a team. Our coach is the offensive head coach. He understands and sees the struggles, and I'm pretty sure he's not loving this whatsoever. So they'll get it together.
So I'll ask you one question, and then we can close it out, since you're saying that this is Mahomes' fault, basically. And I'm not disagreeing with you, because you can watch some games in previous games, look at the film, and see that there's wide open receivers. It's just that's not where the progression goes, or he bails from safe in the pocket, or something occurs. So what do you think is the difference this season versus last season? Because we came into this season arguably saying we have a way better offensive line than in the Super Bowl. And we have like different kinds of wide receivers this season than we had previous season. And towards the Super Bowl run, we pretty much had all of these wide receivers versus Rashee Rice and Justin Ross, who's not even on the team right now. So all of these receivers are already familiar with this offense and we're on it. So who do you think is the problem area for Mahomes that's causing this misconnection?
I feel like it's himself, honestly. Being that he has more time than he's ever had in the pocket, more time than he had last year. You see him at times where he's just holding on to the ball for entirely too long. Like I don't know if it's him not trusting guys. Him not trusting something about his mechanics. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he's really literally in his own way. He has time. It's not the offensive line just really getting beat. They're able to get guys even when they get upfield to get around him. He has to kind of get out of his own way. I seen him scramble today into Donovan Smith, but it's kind of like Mahomes. You just kind of like if you pick a different direction or just make sure your head is up. I don't know where you're looking at. But like you gotta kind of, it was reminiscent of the Mark Sanchez sacking itself. Like you gotta kind of just do better.
You gotta humble Pat Mahomes on our podcast.
Well, I'm just being honest. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Like you can tell, we can tell you're out of it. You're not like it's something that's not. It's not there. Something that you're not comfortable with, but it can't be the offensive line and not having time. You have to. I think that timing needs to get better. With the wide receivers for sure, because when you have time like Mahomes has, there's no reason that you shouldn't be at least getting 2-3 yard gains or trying to find a check down. You just not doing. Your eyes are not looking in the right spot, or you're just getting happy feet. Something about your mechanics, something that you're not trusting. But it's I can't put it on the line, and we can say wide receivers, but he has all day like run or move around. Like he moves around pretty good. He usually runs, and that's what I was surprised today. He didn't do more of, but you can kind of just tell he was kind of out of it, all over the place. But I really put it. I think he's standing in his own way, honestly.
Yeah, what you said was right. Honestly, I'm just grateful to be 6-2 at this point. Still way ahead, above 500, still in position for the playoffs, and I'm grateful that it's Mahomes that gotta step up, opposed to anybody else that we looking for. Honestly, you will assume the best quarterback in the league eventually will turn it on. So I would rather him be the one who has to get better and, take it upon himself and understand like, okay, I can make it a lot better for my team. In moments, I understand I want to extend the play. I want to try to go downfield. Let me just go ahead and throw it to the flank. Let me just throw it out to the flat. They don't have nobody around them. Go get a first down. Let's go ahead and get 3 or 4 more plays to work with. Okay, I don't got it again. Same rhythm.
I will agree with you. And the one argument / counterpoint I'll make is there's been times where Mahomes, it's always felt like it's on his shoulders to get something done, and it has backfired, a la 2022 AFC Championship game, where if the Chiefs decide to run the ball more or Mahomes does anything but keep scrambling with three-man rushes, the Chiefs win that game if they get any other points. So I'm just stating that there has been occurrences, and even in the postseason, where Mahomes has his struggles and he keeps feeling like it's all on him. And we see it a lot of the times. The beginning of games are always like, I don't know how to explain it. He's always jumpy, he's jittery. Not
the first drive is just usually never good, Clint. I know what you're saying. Like that.
Yes.
That first drive is just usually never good. He's not usually if he comes out and he's firing, he's on. It's like, okay, maybe that's a great sign. Usually, like, okay,
yeah.
But even like the first drives out of the second half usually are not good either. But I just kind of share that same sentiment with Dale. If it's any other guy that we will put that onus on this team, right? It has to be him. Like, if it was anybody that we were asking, like, okay, we need to get better. We need you to get better like overnight. You have to get drastically better. The only person we would want to put that on is 15. So that's how I'm kind of feeling in the situation. Is like we put it on the right person to get better. He knows he needs to play better. This game, like I said, was totally on him. Those fumbles, even that interception, just bad decisions. Like, he has to get better. So, like, he knows that.
Hold on. Me and Clinton is Golden State Warriors fans. We know this with Chef Curry. This guy is the main one. He'll put a dagger in you. But in the moments he need to make that last minute 3 to a game-winning shot, sometimes he miss it. This is what you get with Mahomes, too.
Right.
He'll kill you the whole time. Go 40, 50.
You would choose it and bet on it, but
yeah,
it doesn't always work out. And at this point, we have this expectation. He's so great. It's going to work out every single time. But the odds at some point have to go against this team. You would have saw after that first drive where it didn't work out, and the Denver defense was just, spouting at Mahomes, that would have woke him up. And the fact that nothing came out from that, something was definitely off with him today, because if he was a shell of himself. If he had any more energy to him, he would have been just playing like a man possessed, playing with passion and purpose, and frankly, just being pissed off. There's the word.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So it seemed like a emotionless game. And I think that's the disheartening part, is the lack of concern and care for this matchup. So
I'm glad you pointed that out, because I saw that from everybody's face. Everybody looked like, even when Scott Moore, for a young guy who had a chance to like score a touchdown, like kind of put his name out for himself, you saw him on the sideline, he was like it ain't no like
Yeah,
fire.
it has to be some fire. Yeah,
Like, what's going on, bro?
yeah, and I feel like
and that makes me feel comfortable going next week. Like, hey, bro, hopefully that fire is there to where they work off that. That's why I'm like, let me temper myself.
They didn't consider this a big game, and they thought they could get away with a C- effort against the same team they just played 2 weeks ago, and they were absolutely punched in the mouth.
You thought they was worried about the trade deadline more. They just trying to win. They just trying to stop that 17 straight.
Yeah.
John Payton's still trying to get that Walmart check.
Yep. Let's hit the reset. Now I feel like the Chiefs go in. Let's hit the reset button. Let's sit back and reassess.
That's right.
We just lost to a 2-5 team, so we just thought we were hot stuff. Maybe we're not as hot as what we thought we were. Maybe we need to go back to the drawing board and look at some things. Really go in with a bigger attitude, better attitude, and show who we really are, because the world is questioning us now, because we just got beat up by some guys that we shouldn't have lost to, and we struggled with the first time. So they're asking a million questions of us, and it's gonna be rightfully asked. So step up to the plate.
Damn straight. Well, thank you all for listening and commiserating with us all and enjoying this trip of a game, and hopefully use it as a motivation to say we're not going to play like this again. We're going to come out firing and prove the NFL and doubters a la me after a game like that we are better than what our last game shows. So let's see that performance, and we're going to be there after that game, and we're going to have a very early Sunday kickoff for that. So
here we go.
Talk about a very, very short turnaround. It couldn't have been any worse unless it was a Sunday night or a Monday night game.
And this is going to be bizarre. And I love it for the Chiefs, because you put yourself in this situation, right? We don't see them in very many situations where their back is against the wall. You're in a game where you need to win, and it's not the most comfortable situation for you. I love it for them right here. You put yourself in this situation going and losing to the 2-5 Broncos. Now your back is against the wall. You got to go win at 7:30 in the morning in a foreign country. So go get it done. It's on you now. You did this to yourself.
Yeah, I was wondering, since they're in Germany, would it be like a 12 o'clock-ish game for them there, or like towards like the night?
If it was like the English games, those occurred at like 6:30 p.m. their time. So that's why it became like early a.m. our time, is because they're like 10 hours behind or ahead of us.
Oh, okay. Well, my final thoughts about this, y'all. First half of the season over with. It's my final thoughts. First half over with, 6-2. If I give them a grade, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a B-. Definitely could have had better effort offensively. Defense definitely saved us in all the games before, up until when we lost today, of course. But hey, it's our time to reset. Second half of the season. Let's see if we can go undefeated in this portion. Maybe the offense step up as well too. So hope for that. Can't wait to talk to y'all next Sunday early morning about this. But hey, we'll see.
Game straight. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great night. As always, let's go Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate. Your trusted source for all things Chiefs. Red Kingdom Media.